Hi Ravens, yesterday when we finished off, you should have finished writing your topic sentence, your introduced evidence, and your evidence for at least one of your body paragraphs. So today we're going to focus on writing our explanation. And if you remember from me talking about it yesterday, in our explanation, you are trying to connect your topic sentence and your evidence and persuade me to believe your claim. So in order to do that, we're going to do this in 3 different steps. Step 1 is this. You're going to rewrite in one sentence. You're going to rewrite or describe the evidence in your own words. So my evidence is about how 1/3 to 1/5 of the food supply is being ruined by rats. And so in my explanation of that, I'm going to say, this means that. Notice that I actually crossed off this means that because I don't need that. But I can think it as I'm writing and then cross it off because it helps me know what to write next. But since that's a sentence starter, we want to make sure to avoid that in our writing. So this means that, crossed off. Rats steal at minimum 20% of the food that people raised or grew for human consumption. We can also say that they are depriving one out of 5 people on the planet of nourishment. So I'm going to have you pause really quick, and I want you to go ahead and just rewrite your evidence in your own words. So now that you have your rewrite written, I just want to show you what mine looks like so far. So I have my topic sentence, rats are foes because they destroy food that humans would otherwise eat. I have my introduced evidence, right, that bridges you from your topic sentence to your evidence. I have my evidence about the 1/5 to 1/3 of human supply has been being eaten by rats. And I have my rewrite, which is really just saying what the evidence says in my own words. My next step is to do my reasoning, okay? And when I write my reasoning, I'm going to explain how my evidence right here, my green, supports my topic sentence, my yellow. And I want to be really clear here and maybe even add additional details. So let's kind of think through what this might look like together. Ignore the T, it's just how I have my, my color. So when I do this, I really want to think about like how this evidence is supporting my claim, right? And so I know that if rats are eating the food supply, then that's kind of problematic for people, right? Because especially when we have a growing population in our world, that can be really problematic. So I might write something like, this is problematic. Right, and that word problematic right there is kind of like a persuasive word, something that is persuading people, right? So it's problematic for humans because if rats are eating so much of our food, right? I just talked about how they're eating our food and that's problematic. Then a lot of people don't have the food that they need. And so this is especially something that's like really hard for people who live in the developing world, right? Where food isn't as easy to come by like it is somewhere like in the United States, right? So I might say something about that. So I might say something like, this is especially troublesome, which is another one of my persuasive words, right? For people in developing countries around the world where rats are eating or spoiling, right? Tons. Remember that word tons should only be used if I'm explaining something about weight, right? And in this case, I am using weight. So they're spoiling tons of grain and rice each year. So notice how this is really making that connection between how there isn't that much food, they're destroying food, and how it's food that people would otherwise eat, right? So I know that this is a little bit of a hard step, but I really want you to try struggling through it and coming up with how this, how you really think about this connection between your evidence and your claim. So go ahead and pause. Definitely ask for help from teachers or even your neighbor. You can work together on this part. Okay, Ravens, so we have one more step in order to finish our explanation. And that step is refocusing our reader back onto our claim, okay? So we want to come back to this claim that rats are our foes because they destroy food that people would otherwise eat, right? So this is the way that I say it. I just come right back to that and I say it kind of in a new way with new words. Rats are our foes because they're creating more hunger than there would be otherwise. I'm basically saying the same exact thing, but just in different words. So I want you to go ahead and pause again and just write that last sentence. All right, so now that you have almost your entire paragraph written, here's the part where you really want to give the final punch, your clincher. You want to restate your claim in a new way, and you want to connect it back to your central claim. So you really want to do that together. So in order to do that, let's look back at our central claim. Rats are our foes because they destroy our food, they destroy our infrastructure, and they carry diseases that are harmful or fatal to humans. My topic sentence is that rats are foes because they destroy food that humans would otherwise eat. So I want to come back to both of these ideas, and this is how I do it. I say rats theft, right, because they're really stealing our food, and that's a really great persuasive word to use. So rats theft of our food makes them our enemies. Remember that foes means enemies. So I'm coming back to these ideas and really wrapping it up to kind of give that final punch on my clincher. So here's my final paragraph, right? I have my topic sentence, intro evidence, evidence, a really long explanation. Notice how long that explanation is compared to everything else. And I have a clincher. I want you to take a minute and I want you to go ahead and read this all the way through. And then I want you to go ahead and write your clincher. Notice that my paragraphs or my lines don't go all the way to the end. But of course, when you write a paragraph, it should all be continuous. The all should start up here at the eat, right? I'm just doing this so you can really see the different parts. So go ahead and pause, read the paragraph, and write your clincher. When you finish this, you can definitely go ahead and get started writing your next paragraph.